All right, boys and girls, instead of talking about an EDC today, we're going to talk about your LDC. That's your landscaping daily carry. Now, I'm only halfway kidding. I rarely carry outside the waistband. All right. The only time I do is when I'm doing yard work or work around my property. All right. So for all of my YouTube moderators and my safety police, all of these firearms are unloaded. There's no magazines, there's no ammo in the magazines anywhere near me. So let's get into this. All right. The only time I outside the waistband carry is when I'm out working on my property. And I don't know if I should tell this story or not. I actually was out on my property working one day, and I saw a tree. In fact, it's right outside this this shop here. I saw a tree shaking and doing this. And I walked over to the edge, and at the time, I think I had a Glock 30S on my hip. And I see this guy down in the woods, probably, I don't know, 15 yards off my driveway, tattoos all over his neck, covered in tattoos on his face, and he's shaking a tree. And so I just took the firearm out and I put it down by my side, yelled some explicatives at him, and turns out he is it's not a falconer. What are the guys called that do it with the hawks? A hawker? I don't know. But his hawk had strayed off. He was training this young bird. It had come down onto my property from a big patch of woods out behind me where he usually hunted squirrels with it. And he was trying to get it to come down out of another tree, not the one he was shaking. So anyway, long story short, ended up being a super cool guy. I call him Larry the Hawk Man now. I haven't seen him in a little while. Anyways, I was carrying when that event happened. He noticed I was carrying. He took it very seriously. Turns out he was a great guy. We had a long talk about letting people know in the country before you come on their property. So at the beginning of summer, I got this gravity holster from Safariland. I liked their inside the waistband holster so much that I took a chance on this with the paddle. I've never carried with a paddle like this. If you want to see my review of that inside the waistband holster, I'm going to put a card right up here on the screen. This will fit belts up to 1.75 inches. So most of your standard EDC belts are probably going to be 1.5. If you have more of kind of a duty hybrid EDC belt, it might be 1.75 inches, and it will fit that. You'll notice there's a little hook right here. And if I open it up, can you kind of see that hook in there? So when you slide your belt through and you put this inside your waistband and you go to draw, that hook holds onto your belt and you cannot pull this thing out. In fact, the first time that I wore this and I went to take it back out, I was like, why can't I get this damn thing off? And I quickly realized you have to pull out like this and then let it come up off the belt. They come in a couple different patterns. So I have the Lord's camo here, which is multicam black, but it comes in a couple different others. It is adjustable for the cant. So if you loosen this screw here, you can actually twist this and rotate it on the paddle so it can sit at different angles on your belt line. It is IDPA and USPSA approved, all right? And it is wide open at the bottom. So whether you have a traditional Glock with suppressor height sights, it is going to fit in there fairly flush. If you have an extended barrel for a suppressor, it is going to stick out just a little bit, but it does work. Or if you have a comp, you can stick that in there like you saw in some of that intro footage, and it will allow for a comp. And it is compatible with any of Safariland's 3-hole accessories. So if you want to use like a QLS or something like that, it will work. And it is optic cut, so I think you already saw this, but it will not impede if you have an optic. Even if you have a big optic like an acro, it will still work on there. And now maybe the best part, on Safariland's website, these are only $65, right? So if you add a bunch of accessories and 3 holes and it might cost you a couple bucks extra. There's a gun store near me, Adventure Outdoors, that carries these actually a couple dollars cheaper. So your mileage may vary depending on where you shop. And they make them for about 50 different firearms, all right? So anything from Glock, Shadow Systems, Sig Sauers, Springfield Armories, Tauruses, and Wilson Combats. And that is it, guys. Again, I'm gonna put a link down in the description below. If you like this video, do me a favor, give it a like, consider subscribing to the channel. Appreciate your time watching. As always, got lots more to come, and I'll see you in the next one.